E-commerce is getting more and more competitive every single day, and this is not a secret. And the truth is that the competition in 2025 is gonna be at an all-time high, and if you don't implement winning strategies, you're gonna get crushed by your competition and you won't survive as an e-commerce brand. That's why in this video I'm gonna show you how you can get ahead of the most e-commerce brands in 2025 to make sure that you gain your market share and grow your e-commerce store profitably. Let's get right into it. I'm gonna show you, just to let you know what this video is gonna cover, I'm gonna show you two ways of running a store. First one is gonna be like a traditional way where majority of the brands are doing it, where the second one is gonna be how you should be doing things if you really wanna grow and if you wanna get better and scale higher than your competition. So this chart is the regular path of an e-commerce customer, like this is their usual journey. So these are traffic sources, right? The ones marked purple, this is gonna be your traffic source. So someone can come through Meta ads, Google ads, TikTok ads, organic, or SEO. Then what happens is they obviously go to your store, to your website, and they land on the product page. I'm just assuming that you're sending the traffic to the product page because this is what's gonna happen for the 99% of the e-commerce brands. There might be some cases where it's gonna be homepage, then we will just replace product page with homepage, but that's not the point here. And then someone adds the product to cart, they go to checkout, and they make a sale. This is the ideal path for you as an e-com brand owner of every single website visitor that you have. You would like everyone to go through the product page, add to cart, start checkout, and purchase in general, right? That would be perfect. But the truth is that all of this, or if you were to explain it in the numerological way, it's gonna be conversion rate. So the conversion rate for e-com brands on average, there's a ton of data on this, is 2%. So out of all of this, only 2% of people reach this stage. You might be wondering why. Okay, that's a great question. Because half of the people that view the product page are gonna leave it for whatever reason. Half of people that add to cart won't reach the checkout. They're gonna leave the product in their cart. Half of people who start the checkout will abandon it, right? All of those are drop-offs, and people will drop off. It's inevitable. It's impossible. If you would have 100% conversion rate, you would be so rich that, you would be richer than Elon Musk probably if your e-commerce conversion rate would be 100%, right? It's just not possible. 2% is still a really, really decent score because I've seen, brands having 1%, but 2% is average, okay? So 2% is the whole of this, and the 98% of those people who don't purchase is gonna be this, more or less. And you might be wondering where the 50% came from. Well, we've worked with at this point over 50 brands, we've audited probably over 100, and this is usually what we're seeing as a drop-offs at each stage. And you can be treated like a rule of thumb where 50% drop off at every stage, right? And then after you generate a sale, you have something called repurchase. Now this is really gonna be different based on what kind of e-com brand you're running. We have clients in the supplements niche who have an insanely well product, people love it, and their repurchase rate is 75%. So we can actually pay more and put more effort into acquiring more customers because we know that after we acquire them, the product itself is pretty much gonna make them repurchase because it's so good, right? So our focus shifts towards non-buyers and converting them into buyers rather than trying to get people to repurchase. But this is an anomaly, I would say. 75% repurchase rate is insane and unheard of for majority of the brands. If you're not in the supplements, but you're in kind of other niche, like one of products or purchases, your repurchase rate is gonna be between 20 to 30%, I would assume, more or less. Obviously, it's not a benchmark, but an example, which means that 70 to 80% people that buy from you are never gonna come back. And mind you, people who buy from you are the easiest people to sell to because they've already trusted you once in the first place. So all you have to do to make them to buy again is make them to trust you again, which if your product is good, it shouldn't be too hard. But in general, if you're looking at this graph, you probably see the problem where there's nothing happens after they leave, right? You're paying so much money to probably acquire those people, even if it says an SEO, which technically is free. You're still probably either paying SEO agency or you're spending a lot of time creating SEO articles yourself. Same goes for organic. Technically it's free content or free traffic, but still you either need to put in your effort and time to create the content, or you're hiring some UGC creators, for example, to do the content for you. So you're spending all of this money, time and effort to get those people to buy from you. This is your ultimate goal, but you're not having the entire journey optimized. If someone leaves the product page, nothing happens. you're like, okay, so be it, right? Same goes for the abandoned cart, checkout, and repurchase rate. It's like you almost don't care that, okay, if they don't come back or they leave, that's okay, and it is how it is. And the truth is that you have more control over all of this than you probably can imagine, because this graph in itself, if you are to remember one thing from this video, make sure you remember this graph, because if you implement it correctly, you're gonna get ahead of the majority of the brands and you're gonna actually be able to profitably scale, do things differently than your competitors, and you'll just be able to crush them, right? Like, I know that maybe not everyone wants to crush the competition, but ultimately e-commerce is a niche where one store survives, or one store, flops, so the other can survive, right? Like, the amount of people who are, for example, purchasing for trousers is gonna be limited. Like, if someone wants to buy trousers, they're not gonna be buying hundreds of them. They're probably gonna buy one pair of trousers this month and maybe another one in a month or in 2 weeks. But you get my point. Like, there is a limited, I don't want to say it's like a limited amount of customers, because there's like unlimited money to be made in e-commerce. But if someone is buying one specific product, they're validating their options and they're gonna select one. Like, if I'm in the market for the coffee, I'm not gonna buy one coffee from 5 or 10 brands. Maybe if I'm trying it out, then maybe yes. But my point is that obviously you want to get started with one. If you're, for example, getting into the specialty coffee, you want to try one because first of all, it's more expensive. I don't know if I'm gonna like the taste, so I'm gonna try one, not tens of them, okay? So the start of this graph is similar. You're starting with traffic, people are going to your store, but then you're already doing something differently here. As you can see, you're building your email list, which are like, okay, email list, but let me just clarify because it's really important and this graph is gonna show you why. So if someone goes to your website, they're seeing the pop-up and okay, I don't want to sugarcoat you, 10% conversion rate on the pop-up is really good. We are able to achieve it for multiple brands, but it's really good, and usually you should be aiming for 5 to 7%, which is still decent. Okay, it's not perfect, but 5 to 7% is healthy, it's decent. We've seen conversion rates at 15%, we have clients doing that, but once again, these are kind of anomalies, and we've been testing things for quite a while. Let's assume your conversion rate is between 5 to 7%. It means that 5 to 7% of your total traffic is being converted into email subscribers. So you already see the difference. The conversion rate for the purchase is 2%, okay? So if you convert 5 to 7% of your total traffic into email list, you are already ahead compared to the store that just leaves those people, okay? You're getting 5 to 7% of your total traffic on your email list, which is giving you limited possibilities. Like, you can send them as many emails as you want to, you can send whatever content you want because you own it. You own the traffic source and you can do whatever you want. If you want to retarget those people, CPM, which is gonna be super small. I would even say it's free, but technically you need to pay for the software, for the amount of profiles you're using, so it's not free. But CPM for email lists is gonna be like in cents for emails that you are building, compared to, for example, Meta ads, where I bet your CPM is like $20 or $30, right? So it's super cheap. And then after people sign up their email list, obviously they're going through the welcome flow. Now, the welcome flow is very, very important because it really educates people about the product, about the problem, clears the objections, talks about guarantees, and builds trust before someone purchases, and that's why it works so well. Obviously, it also gives the incentive or the discount code, but the other purpose is just to educate people and make them aware of the brand and your solution. Then they're landing on the product page, where once again, this is similar to the previous graph, and then we have added to cart. So the drop-off is gonna be the same. It's not like the drop-off changed because of that, okay? Maybe a little bit, since like the traffic coming from the welcome flow would be more aware of everything you're doing, but still, let's assume the drop-offs don't change. What changes is what happens after they drop off, okay? So let's say they've been on the product page, they didn't really like what they've seen, and they left it. In the case of your competitor, they would leave it and nothing happens. Like, there's nothing there, okay? They leave and that's it, they're gone. In your case, if you want to do things the right way, you're making them go through the browse development flow, which is gonna be similar to the welcome flow. But once again, as you already have them on your email list, you have the ability to do this, okay? So we are sending them browse development flow with, once again, 4 to 5 emails, showing them the exact product they've seen, talking about your brand, clearing the objections, building trust, and so on and so on. Then they might convert. But if they don't convert, you are sending them weekly campaigns, okay? So this is, once again, the conversion cycle for those people is a little bit longer. It's not like they need to buy right now. Like in this case, they need to buy pretty much the same day or the same hour they have visited your store, or they drop off and never come back. In this case, you're giving them more time, okay, which is also nice because some people need more time to make the informed decision, and you're making them aware of everything you're doing through browse abandonment flow and weekly campaigns. Then some of those people will purchase. It's not like there's gonna be 100% conversion rate on this, obviously not, but still a decent chunk of people that leave are gonna buy from you. But this is not the end, because after they buy from you, you're sending them post-purchase flows, which is post-purchase with the cross-sell, replenishment if it's applicable, then you have customer win-back flow, first purchase anniversary, and you're also sending them weekly campaigns. So as you can see, there's a lot more touch points after someone leaves the product page, just because you've done this step, which is collecting their email address, right? And then after they go through all of this, some of those people will repurchase. Once again, it won't be 100% conversion rate on the browse abandonment flow into sale generated into replenishment and repurchase. It won't be 100%, but you're pretty much recovering the traffic that pretty much would never come back to you anyways. So you have nothing to lose, because as you can see, those people would churn anyway. And I know that a lot of people are scared, like, okay, should I be sending those emails? Maybe it's too much, maybe I shouldn't do this. But the truth is that, first of all, if your emails are good, people are gonna be happy that you're getting them, because you'll be actually helping them make a more informed decision and educate them on the problem they're having and on the solution that you offer. But then secondly, it's like you shouldn't really care, because they would leave and never come back. It's like with the high school friends, where you've been scared to do something in high school because, oh my god, what those people are gonna think, right? Like if you're about to present something in front of the class, like, oh my god, what they're gonna think. The truth is that they will forget about it in 1 month. And so the same is true about those people. Like if they leave your product page, they're seeing so many ads on their Meta or Facebook feed that they won't really remember you if you don't make them remember you. You get what I'm saying? With this path, with this solution, you're making them remember you, get to know you, and obviously people buy from brands they like, trust, and know. So this is your really competitive advantage. This is how you get ahead. And this example was only about the product page, but the same happens after they leave the add to cart stage. So if they don't reach the checkout, you're sending them abandoned cart flow and doing the same thing as with browse abandonment, where once again, flow between 4 to 5 emails, weekly campaigns, some of those people will buy from you, and then you're making them repurchase for the flows, and there you go, they're repurchased. Same goes for abandoned checkout flow. You've probably heard of abandoned checkout flow, because this is probably, along with the welcome flow, 2 most popular flows out of like all email flows. But the same thing happens. You're sending them abandoned checkout flow. If they don't convert, you start sending them weekly campaigns. They buy from you, they receive the post-purchase treatment, and then they repurchase, okay? Now, same goes for the part after you generate a sale. So as you can see, the repurchase rate doesn't change, right? Still, let's say 20 to 30% of people are gonna repurchase from you just because, but the 70 to 80% will never come back. So for those who are never gonna come back, you have the post-purchase journey, which is post-purchase flow with cross-sell. Now, the purpose of this one is really not to like convert those people that much. It's more to make sure that they're using product the right way, just because like this other brand I mentioned with such high repurchase rate, their customers know how to use the product, so they're getting good results. Hence, they're happy to buy again because they're getting results. And it's like, like a continuous cycle where I have a problem, this product solves it, I'm getting results, I'm gonna repurchase. I have a problem, and you see, it's gonna be happening over and over just because the instructions are clear, they know how to use it, and most importantly, they're getting results. Because a lot of brands make this mistake that they think after they generate a sale, the job is done, it's over, like they don't need to do anything. This is really in your best interest to show people how to use the product, because if they're gonna use it the wrong way and they're not gonna enjoy it, they're gonna buy from your competitor. And if your competitor tells them how to use the product, gives them instructions, and is actually helpful in making sure they get the result they want to get, they're gonna become your competitor's client instead of yours. That's why this is so important, because technically you should be like, okay, but they bought from me, so they should know how to use it, or they should check it out on their own. No, it's really in your best interest to make sure that people are happy after they buy from you, because if they receive the nice treatment, if they like the way they're being treated, they're gonna come back to you just because they love you as a brand and the values you're sending. Replenishment, same story. If it's applicable, obviously just helps with repurchase. Customer win back, same thing. Those people are about to churn, so just why not make them repurchase. First purchase anniversary, another great flow, which is great one because it has a gifting angle or like, you know, happy birthday kind of thing, but obviously not for the customer's birthday, but for the quote unquote your first year together. Works extremely well for any brand we do it for. And then weekly campaigns, which once again is gonna be like up-to-date content that does things really, really well for pretty much, once again, like any vertical we're using it for. You need to be sending weekly campaigns to your existing customers, trying to cross-sell, trying to teach them more about the brand, show them kind of like, you know, what's going on behind, and make them like actual loyal fans of the brand. Because ultimately, all of everything I've just discovered, or not discovered, but covered, leads to repurchase, which is gonna be your ultimate goal, right? You want people to buy from you, okay? This is the first goal. You want them to buy from you for the first time, but then you want them to buy from you once again, mainly because these purchases are gonna be extremely profitable. Because for the repurchase sales, you don't have this. You're not spending, you know, money on ads. You're just spending either time, effort, or money to get the email flows done or campaigns. But it's gonna be worth it, trust me, especially at scale, because if you look at this graph, all of the entire funnel is covered. Like in this case, you know, we have drop-offs at every stage and nothing happens. Right here, you have pretty much every single step of the funnel covered. If someone goes through the welcome flow, they go to the product page, or they leave it, they go through the browse abandonment flow, okay? Then they add to cart and reach checkout but don't purchase. It's not like they're leaving, they didn't reach the checkout, so they're getting abandoned checkout flow and weekly campaigns, okay? So these flows like really they're fulfilling the entire funnel, making sure it's really, really tight and there's like no place for drop-offs, ultimately helping you just get higher conversion rate and convert more people at a lower cost. Plus, simultaneously, you're building the greatest asset there is, which is your email list, right? Because then you can use it however you want to. And it's only about email. You can also start collecting phone numbers and build SMS list. But ultimately, when you have an email list, you can do whatever you want. You're not being restricted by any content. And yeah, like those flows are just gonna help you tremendously increase your conversion rate. Make sure that those drop-offs that you have, because you'll have them, like that's certain, everyone has them. But those drop-offs won't be as impactful as in this case, where you don't have any flow and they're like kinda allowing those people to leave and never come back from you. So this is the strategy for 2025 that you need to be using if you want to get ahead. Now, if you need help implementing it and you know you would like us, me and my team to implement it for you, we've done over like 20 million e-commerce email sales for our clients. We're working with over 20 brands every single day. So if you want us to help you with this and show you how we're doing it, what are the exact flows we would implement, campaign strategy and whatnot, there's gonna be a link below this video. You can schedule a free consultation call with me where I'm gonna do like a free Klaviyo audit for you. And if you're not using Klaviyo, I'm just gonna show you an action plan on how you can implement this exact strategy to make sure that you grow profitably and scale in 2025. But if you're not there yet, make sure to watch my other video, which shows you 6 money printing tips for e-com brands in 2025.